Hi, it's Krishta Abruzzini with KNAC.com and
DJ Will.
there's people.
From around the world. That is interest from the fans' point of view. If you're a vendor, you're creating these products, you want to highlight what you have to show to the world. The interesting thing with the music business and the lack thereof, maybe my opinion, some people may share it, may not. It's interesting that you have an industry that has downsized and consolidated so much over the years, whereas there are no record companies anymore in the truer sense. The big companies, it's like two or three companies own everything else, what's left. Hardly any magazines, radio stations, record stores, all those different outlets for musicians to thrive, for notoriety. It just doesn't exist. But what's interesting about NAMM, it gives you hope. It's like it's great.
So how did you get your start? I know you started working with Schecter guitars through NAMM, but let's start at the beginning.
Okay, well, the short version is my involvement with coming to NAMM was more of a purpose of, when I started in the music industry, a lot of our acts would either perform here or would do signings. This is like the late 80s, early 90s. So my purpose there was more on a promotional marketing standpoint. And obviously to see all the new products at that time, whereas the technology was really in its infancy as opposed to what we see here, in 2016. And every year there's always different nuances of improvement in all of the, the guitars, the basses, and everything. But at that time, I was involved in the music business from, behind the scenes point of view. Nowadays, it's more on the DJ side. So my interest is more pro audio, getting to reconnect with the manufacturers that I have relationships with. Also reconnect with the people I see sometimes, once a year. And it so happens to be NAMM. I call it the rock and roll high school reunion. Whereas we don't bring yearbooks, we will exchange cards, exchange numbers still, but everyone that I email and talk to in that context, I get to see them in person. So it's kind of it's changed for me personally. I get something out of it because, again, the reconnecting of friends and business relationships. Back then, it was promoting the bands I was working for, or that it's just for my interest. It definitely changed in the last 15, 20 years.
Fabulous. And so, how did you come into Schecter then? Because that's kind of your gig here, right?
That's kind of the main one. As a DJ, even with KNAC, when I doing the radio show for quite some time, I do that once a year. But with Schecter relationship happened with all the great people that work there, from the president down. They, much like a lot of the vendors here, they have a line of guitars and a line of basses that they are here to highlight and promote. And when they have the post-convention function that they do at the Grove, they brought me in terms of having just sort of that added value. Because when the convention's done, hey, there's all these different parties and all these different functions. So I've been fortunate enough. And in fact, this year marks the 10th anniversary that I've been involved with Schecter Guitar. So all the different artists that are endorsed by Schecter, they usually are the acts that perform, and I just do my thing in the courtyard. So this year will be Zach Sabbath. They're doing Zach, the bearded Viking himself, the New Jersey Devil, doing a bunch of Black Sabbath covers, and then main headliner will be Arch Enemy, and the looking forward to seeing Jeff Loomis like tear it up. So for those of you that don't know, Jeff Loomis has done a lot of great guitar work in Nevermore. So he's a nice addition to Arch Enemy. So my involvement is again just for that added value, and I look forward to it.
So you also do a night out at the Rainbow, which is super fun.
Speaking of anniversaries, this year will be 6 years. 6 years working at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in the Sunset Strip. Upstairs, people think, well, wait a minute, what music? Because if you go in the dining room, you'll hear music, but that's controlled by a different source. So that's been fun. That's been real fun. That really matters if you come there, you have the world famous pizza or the stuffed mushrooms, but the Rainbow Bar and Grill, everyone knows the Rainbow Bar and Grill, and having that opportunity, just DJ there, it's been great. Because no matter where my gigs take place, whether they're overseas, back east, or on a cruise, and we'll get into that a little later on, the Rainbow Bar and Grill has been a nice mainstay. So, come upstairs, have a drink, hear some music. Well, lately it's been Sundays and Wednesdays, and I alternate with another DJ. When I started out, I was doing weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, and those are obviously the great ideal days to have. So some changes happened the last couple of years, but just able to do my thing, keep it simple. Again, someone has a request, not a problem. So it's like customer service. So, but the Rainbow, incidentally, was a mainstay for Lemmy Kilmister, and we had a great memorial for him there a couple weeks back. Not only did we have the Rainbow Bar and Grill, but we had the Roxy Theater and the Whiskey. So everything was all tied into, the memorial, when he passed last month. So that was a very interesting moment. We have it was a huge mural in the patio. The flowers from the services are still there outside in the patio. So yeah, that's on purpose. Let me spot at the back of the bar, sort of like the, just to be left alone for quite some time. And then there's also in the works possible opportunity to have a statue, a Lemmy statue.
Isn't there a fund going up for that fundraiser?
Yeah, there's an online petition for that, but I'm sure the Rainbow was going to do something anyway. I mean, there's already a placard outside of the Motorhead skull outside the Rainbow. So my history of working there, because the interesting thing is working there is different than going there, because I've been going there for 25 years, and so it's it's a little more personal. So when I see my friends come down and come hang out, just have some fun with it. So really, I enjoy what I do. A lot of times it's a labor of love, but with music and mixing and promoting, it's like that's what I know the best, and that's what I've been doing the most. And so it's been good. So then just with NAMM and the Rainbow and KNAC, it's all cyclical. It's like at some point, if I'm not talking about it or playing it, it's like I'm always doing something related with music. So.
Something that you love. That's the key.
Of course.
Speaking of cruise time. Woo!
Next month will be the return of the Monsters of Rock cruise. So that sets sail in third week in February. So another function. Doesn't matter if it's one or two original members. It's like a lot of great bands this year. Looking forward to seeing. It's like I think Halloween, Madam X, YNT, Winery Dogs, Queensryche. So it's a huge undertaking that the organizers put together. They'll be doing an East Coast and a West Coast version. The West Coast will be in October. And again, it's added value for what I do. And at some point on the ship, if it remains steady, I'll be mixing. So it's good.
What else do you have going on?
Well, just like I said, besides coming here each and every year and doing the show with KNEC and the Rainbow, anytime I have, again, opportunity to sort of spread the pure rock, I'm all for it. I'm hoping to return to Grass Pop. I did the Grass Pop Festival in Belgium last year, first time ever, and that was great. That was like thousands of people in a tent called the Metal Dome, and that, along with one of the DJs there, Carl, he had been there for like over 15 years, and he decided, we actually had a meeting on the Monsters Rock Cruise talking about that, and the interesting thing was I happened to be available, and I said, hey, you bring over an American DJ. It's like, really? Well, okay. It was just sort of the angle of having someone really just associated with KNEC, and he knows what I've done prior to my association with KNEC. So it was a lot of back and forth, and he made it happen. So last year was the first time ever there, and from 12 midnight to 5 in the morning, a lot of drinking, a lot of metal on multiple giant LED screens, and just like, all right, this I can get used to this. So that's something I'd like to expand. Do something outside of Los Angeles, do things more overseas. But if the opportunity is there, I'll definitely jump on it. Obviously, I will use NAMM as a vehicle to connect, to introduce myself to new faces that may not be aware of me, may not be aware of KNAC. Ended many, many moons ago. So since the .com has been in place since 1998, I'm, like I said, 15 years for me, and
Still a recognizable brand, though. I still, even walking through here, people will say, "Oh,
yeah, the identifiable pure rock, the black and white brand is there for quite some time. Whether it be the sticker, the shirt, it's still in videos. It's out there. It's out there. So that's good." And KNEC, the 105.5 crew just celebrated their 30th anniversary not too long ago. They had a little get together. Oh, I thought you were doing a countdown. I thought you had to. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, so on the 8th. So you had a lot of them celebrate on KLOS of all places. Stu, who, so they had them talking about KNEC on KLOS. So that was just like unheard of. So it was great. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And
well, thank you.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Interviewing us. Yeah.
Oh, stop. Well, it was a whole connection of the whole Portland crew, the whole 503 in the house. But pure rock is everywhere. So it was nice to connect with all of you again, and so as always, KNEC.com streams 24/7. We never close, and actually, in speaking, we never close. In closing, I should say that the stream will continue as long as the fan base will be there to listen, no matter what device you have, laptop, desktop, iPad, iPhone, whatever. The reach is worldwide. There was a very weak signal during the 105.5 days. So with .com, the technology, it's a beautiful thing. So there you go.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.